Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, where we always enjoy spending some time looking at what the new AP Top 25 is going to look like on Sunday. It was a day that you might not have projected there to be much shakeup. There was, after all, just one game between ranked opponents. That was Oklahoma's win against Michigan. But we still saw ranked teams lose. We saw Florida lose to unranked USF. We saw that Arizona State team go into Starkville and get clanger, knocked off by the Cowbells and Mississippi State. So many movements that are going to come that we maybe didn't see coming. Also, how about this one? I'm going to project a team that was in the top 10, won, and will drop out of the top 10. Any predictions on who that's going to be?
South Carolina.
Clemson.
Yes.
We think that they get behind where? Like Illinois is now in the top 10. They dropped down to 11?
Right ahead of Florida State. I was looking at the voting points. I was assuming that the goodwill would be gone. And what I mean by that is that the coaches poll had Clemson at 6. The AP poll had Clemson at 4. A lot of your power ratings, more traditional, database stuff, had Clemson around 8, 9, 10. AP poll had them at 4. You go down 16-0 to Troy in the middle of a busy day. I don't care if you're the AP voter in Vegas, if you're the AP voter in Happy Valley, if you're the AP voter in El Paso. That's going to set off some alarm bells. Now, Clemson came back and righted the ship, but I'm expecting a little bit of a step back for the Clemson Tigers in that move. Iowa State, I do have moving up a couple spots. Some of that is the reshuffling. I've got Oklahoma making a move up, probably landing behind Florida State. Now, where should USF fall after taking down Florida? Where an argument could be made that with a win against Boise State and a win against Florida, they have two of the better wins of any resume from a rankings perspective.
Are they going to get in? Who will drop out?
Oh, that's easy. I've got Florida and SMU dropping out and Arizona State once I knock them out after we get done recording.
Oh, so you think Arizona? Yeah, I could see that. That's wow. Going from 12 to completely unranked in 1 week will be, I'm sure Big 12 fans will take that well.
That would be encouraging in that voters are not so beholden to their priors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think South Florida will probably end up at 24 or 25. I'm not saying that's where they should be, but I bet you that's where they end up.
Did you guys watch Indiana today?
Yeah, they smoked it through the filter.
Yeah. They're not going anywhere.
No.
Until Illinois beats them.
Next week will be a pretty big shakeup week for this.
Michigan will hold on.
Yeah, you're not going to get knocked out of the rankings if you're Michigan for losing on the road to Oklahoma.
I think Auburn's knocking on the door.
I think BYU could sneak in if they finish off what they're doing to Stanford. Oh, no, wait, everybody went to bed.
No, but listen, Auburn beat Baylor. Baylor beats SMU. SMU falls out.
Yeah, no, that could work, but it's going to depend on the voters. Shocker.
I think what hurts Auburn is that Ole Miss and Tennessee were already in front of them. And Tennessee's win over Syracuse looks worse now because Syracuse, what they need overtime against UConn.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's not impressive.
And also just the way that the mind works when you're putting these ballots together. Let's see, there's already 9 or 10 teams from the SEC in the ballot. I mean, maybe you knock Florida out, but so if you've only got 9 teams, at that point, you're like, all right, what's a Big 12 team I could put on here or an ACC team? That's just the way a lot of people would think.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but I'm just saying there were enough people that Auburn was finishing 27th in the voting points last week, so they're already on the ballot for a lot of voters.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it can't happen, but BYU is on a lot too, and they're going to win.
I think I would not be surprised if USF makes it into the high teens.
No. Like, you mean low teen. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Like
Yeah.
18, 19?
Yeah,
Yeah,
18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah. Some like jumps ahead of, and that's the one where you'd be like, whoa. And I even wrote in tomorrow's top 25 today, there's going to be teams that would not be favored on a neutral field. Like that argument will be there. But being reminded of the instructions that AP top 25 voters have to start over. And at some point, you got to throw out what you thought about the preseason. And USF has overshot, while some of those other teams near the edge of the rankings have kind of been fine, kind of meeting expectations. So I would not be surprised if they not at 24-25. I'm projecting that they end up checking in somewhere, between like 15 and 20.
Where'd you put Illinois?
10.
10. Who do you have ahead of them?
I could swap South Carolina out because they swapped last week, and that right now, as it's on the site, South Carolina 9, Illinois 10, South Carolina. The Gamecocks are still in action against South Carolina State due to a weather delay in Columbia.
Does South Carolina have a 4-score road win against a P4 opponent?
No, but they've got a double-digit win on a neutral against a P4 opponent.
That's 0-2 now?
Which lost at home by 24 points to Vanderbilt.
And I assume you've got Notre Dame ahead of Illinois?
Oh, yeah, I do have that.
Do they have a win at all?
I think you need to take this up with Ralph, as we have discussed often. This is a Ralph issue, not a Chip issue.
Ralph probably won't even have Illinois on his ballot.
Yeah, he probably won't.
He's pissed at me because of the Giants. They're catching the Mets.
We have a lot of ranked v ranked games next week, or games where it's like ranked v team that is in that 26 to 33-ish range next week.
Yeah, like, and in which case they'll probably swap each other out. So not a lot of action for those who are wondering at the top. Ohio State, you rolled. Congratulations. Penn State, after a 10-0, what's going on? They got things right against FIU. Sleepy start for LSU, got things right. Georgia, we talked about earlier. Miami, you played Bethune. Oregon, absolute war machine. I mean, there's just nothing to do up in there in the top 5 or 6.
You don't think Oregon has a chance to kind of slide up there, seeing as how they just won by 66 against a Big 12 team while Penn State was struggling with FIU?
I do. I think that there's just going to be too many diamond hands. But my explanation in the story, like, I wrote more about Oregon than I did those other teams, and it was saying that their ceiling is number 3 or number 4. They got 1 first place vote in last week's balloting. Get like 1 or 2 more of those first place votes, we could really be, making a stew at that point. But I'm gonna leave them at 6, thinking that they might be lazy. So who would allege laziness? Yeah, whomst amongst us, as they say.
I do think TV executives are like, not that we have, we're not TV executives, but like,
speak for yourself.
Florida LSU lost a little bit of juice.
Yes,
from a like that's the big ESPN night game for next week.
Hold on. Let's put a button on this. And listen, those are the many changes you can see. Go ahead and check it out over at CBSSports.com for tomorrow's top 25 today.